Alright, what's going on, Guy Nation? I'm your host, FG. Welcome back to some more Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Last we left off, we had a crash course on the last 3 Deluxe games. Billiards, bowling, and golf respectively. So now you're probably wondering what these last 6 games are. Well, in Super Monkey Ball 2, these were bonus games that could only be unlocked after getting a certain amount of points that you'd get for playing all the games. Be it the main game in the form of story mode, challenge mode, or the party games, which is any of these 6 up above in their version 2 formats. And after getting so many points, I believe the value was either 1,000 or 2,000, you'd be able to unlock 1 out of the 6 games. Which means it really took a while to get all 6 of the games. However, with Monkey Ball Deluxe, you get all 6 of them right off the bat. And for what it is, these are games in their forms, but for what it is, I would say, in my honest opinion, they're a little lacking compared to the main games. Which, I guess in some ways that makes sense, they're supposed to be sub-games in a sense. But I kind of wish there was a little more to them. So, for this next episode, we're going to have a crash course on all 6 unlockable games that were originally in Super Monkey Ball 2. So, let's not waste any time, let's get straight into it with the first game, which is going to be Monkey Boat. And Monkey Boat is essentially a racing game of sorts, where you race in a boat. But, we'll show it off as we get into it. So, we're going to be doing a 1-course race to show off the gameplay. So, stand by. Alright. So Monkey Boat is essentially mashing the triggers to go left and right respectively. However, it's a bit reversed. You see, the left trigger makes you go right, and the right trigger makes you go left. And there is no such thing as a middle to it. So you're kind of wanting to... I don't know how to describe it. It's got some funky control to say the least. So at the end, you're really mashing the controller to move forward. And of course, there are power-ups to be found, such as this whale here. But, to be honest, I'm not even sure what these power-ups do if I'm really being honest. But other than that, the gameplay is a lot like Monkey Racing, where the idea is to go with the stage itself and try to beat the competition. And just like before, there is the timer, which means that you have to try to get through to the goal itself without failing in the process. But as you can see, I'm not very good at this game. So, yeah, I think that's going to be enough to show off of it. But for what it is, it's just an alternate version of Monkey Racing that's got you mashing these triggers down below. Which, I'll be honest for one thing, with the form factor that is the Xbox controller, I think this game's a little better. A little better. But is it any good? Not quite. Alright, so after Monkey Boat comes... Monkey Shot. And Monkey Shot is kind of like, I don't know, what's the best game to describe it as? Essentially, it's like a gauntlet of sorts where you're shooting enemies as you go forward. I'll let the gameplay describe it. Alright, so here we go. So this is essentially a on-the-rails shooter of sorts, which in some veins, I guess is maybe similar to like a 3D version of Galaga in some form. But the idea is that you're constantly moving forward with the computer as it goes, and you want to shoot all the enemies you see before you. I can't say this is a bad game, but I don't know, it leaves something to be desired. Because the one thing that this game lacks is any form factor involving the monkey ball itself. Because everything's on the rails here, and these are some enemies that you never even got to see in the game itself. And honestly, they kind of feel out of place. This doesn't really feel like Monkey Ball if you ask me. It feels... I don't know. But, yeah, this isn't going to be any Space Harrier or Afterburner or anything like that for that matter. And it's definitely no Galaga for that matter. What you see is what you get, and there's a total of 3 different stages. This is the first stage, and it can go on for quite a little bit. There is a boss at the end of each world, though, or each level, I should say. So, should you find yourself playing through it all, you will eventually reach the end. However, there is a life. Well, a life bar, I should say. So, should you run out of health, you automatically get game over. And there are power-ups, of course, that you see bouncing across the screen. A better weapon, there's some extra ammunition. So, for what it is, you take it or you leave it. But honestly, I would say this is the one game that's not my personal favorite in most aspects. So, let's just go to the next game before I blow up here. Alright, so that's 2 games already that I'm not really fond of. I don't know if some actually enjoy these games, but for me, they're not doing much. So, what's the next game? Up next is... Monkey As you can see, there's a little bit of parallels between the main games and these games in some aspects. For example, the first game was based on the monkey racing. So this one's more based on monkey targets. But how does that work out? Well, there's two modes. There's normal and there's survival. And I think the best is probably survival because it's more based on monkey fight style. So we'll be checking out that. Up next is monkey dog fight survival mode. Alright, so the best way I can describe this game is a free-for-all. Not in the sense that this is the survival mode, but more or less that this is kind of like a monkey version of Star Fox in some aspects. Though, even I'm partial to how it plays out in some aspects, more or less the controls. But for what it is, the idea is you look around, you're trying to find the other monkeys, and you're trying to shoot them down dogfight style. So, you could say that this is essentially like its own, I don't know, what's the best game to describe this to? I kind of want to say Crimson Skies, but I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. So, let's just compare it to Star Fox. This is the Star Fox of Super Monkey Ball. And you are able to lock onto the target, so it makes it a little easier. You got the reticle. And there are some things you could do, like there's the barrel roll, but even I'm not sure really how it's pulled off. So there is some confusion to this game. But all you gotta know is that it's all about shooting down the other monkeys. So, let's keep going. We're going to play it for another few seconds before we go to the next game, but this is what you get. There's a total of 3 levels based on Super Monkey Ball 2's worlds. This is the space station from the last world. And the gameplay is pretty similar. I believe there's always 4 monkeys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's always 4. But for what it is, it's pretty straightforward. Of course, there are some fruits that you see thrown in, and sometimes the fruits allow some extra abilities, whether it be life, points, or stronger weapons. But, yeah, I think that's all there is to mention about this game. So, let's go to the next one. Alright, so these next 3 games are more or less based on actual live sports, similar to the other 3 we saw before. And I don't know if these are more or less based on what we saw with billiards, bowling, or golf, but I would say it's kind of close. So up next is... some places call it football, but we all know it's soccer, let's be real. So, you got exhibition mode, you got tournament mode, and you have PK mode. And I believe that's just going for the goalie. I'm not entirely sure. So, we're going to be showing off a little bit of exhibition mode for this gameplay segment. So, let's jump ahead. This is Monkey Soccer. So yeah, Monkey Soccer is at its core Monkey Soccer. Not that I really understand soccer much to begin with, but honestly, to me, it kind of feels a lot more like foosball considering all the monkey balls themselves. Me, it's kind of a matter of trying to actually, I don't know, control the ball in some aspects. Because even I don't completely understand it. Because it's not free movement. It's kind of like janky movement in some aspects, because it's based on how the ball moves, which is like an octagon. So, I don't know, maybe it would help if there was a little bit more free movement, but I guess it makes sense. But for me, honestly, I don't know if it controls that good to begin with. I can tell that there's definitely some better soccer games out there, but this ain't it. I don't think this is it. But we'll try for the show. Okay, so we did get a point there at least. But, I don't know, maybe it's just my preference, but I don't like how it controls. It just feels janky to me. And I guess in some ways fast too, because there's only a minute per period with the basic settings. I don't know how to feel about this game. So, this is Monkey Soccer, let's jump ahead to the next game. Alright, so we got 2 more games to go, and it's slowly come to an end. But up next, we're going to play an American sport. Up next is... Monkey Baseball! And this could either be a long game or a short game based on how you see it. I would say, though, that this definitely has the Monkey Ball feel to it, per se. At least it feels like it belongs in Monkey Ball. So, of course, we got exhibition mode and tournament mode. We're going to be showing off a little bit of exhibition mode for this little gameplay segment. So, up next is Monkey Baseball. Alright, so this game also has the roulette wheel, which actually changes how some of the mechanics play out. For example, the half out means half of these are going to be down flat. And what those are does come in handy, as you'll see with me at bat. The idea, well actually no, I'm not batting, I'm actually pitching first. So for what it is, the pitcher controls how fast or how slow they go forward. That's one thing you really can't do with baseball in the normal. But anyways, so here it is kind of like a I don't know what to describe it as, like an overhead baseball kind of game. But the idea is that you hit the ball, and you want to go in some of the outer areas. Some of them are pretty straightforward, such as going out. Some of them are like 1 run, 2 run. However, should you get the ramps, you actually get a home run. And that's probably the biggest aspect of the game is going for the home run, because of sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but for now, let's try not to get... Alright, so everything's gonna be focused on the left, like the pegs. Yeah. Alright. So now I'm at bat, which means I have to try to hit it to the left if I really want some of the high points. But yeah, the fact that you control the ball makes it all the more harder. Ah, come on! I would say out of all 6 games, this is the best. This is the best game you could unlock from the original Super Monkey Ball. Because like I said, it feels like it really is based on Super Monkey Ball. Doesn't mean that's any more hard though. It still does play by baseball rules. A foul is a strike, and 3 strikes is an out. Alright, so this ain't looking good. And... it's hard to predict. It really is hard to predict when to hit. So, we'll give it one more go. And... swing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling! Oh, that's a foul. Alright, now we go. And... swing! That's no good. Alright, one more to go. And... swing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling! No! And that's Monkey Baseball. There's a total of 9 innings, and there's actually 2 maps. One actually features a larger play area and a dome to prevent home runs. So if that's your play style, you may want to go with that second stage. But for what it is, again, I actually really like this game. I would say out of the whole bunch, this is the best game of them. So, if you're going to unlock any from the original Super Monkey Ball 2, this is the one to unlock. But we got one more party game to go. So, let's jump ahead. Alright, so it's time for the last party game of the bunch, and this is known as... Monkey Tennis! And this is the one game I really didn't play a whole lot of. More or less because of bias towards tennis, though I kind of grew out of that when it came to Mario Tennis. But anyways, tennis is tennis. You have singles, you got doubles, and of course the tournaments. So we're going to be focusing on the singles mode to show off this gameplay section. So, up next is the last game of the bunch, Monkey Tennis. Let's get into it. Alright, so Monkey Tennis is tennis at its core. And that goes from the style of it, the way you hit the ball, as well as specials in mind too. In some ways, I would say this is actually a precursor to Sonic and Sega All-Stars Tennis. Not entirely, but in some form factor anyways. And for what it is, it's pretty basic, it plays pretty good. Definitely a lot better than most tennis games today. So I really can't complain too much. For what it is tennis. Though I can't say it offers too much in terms of the Monkey Ball format. For what it is, it's there. It really is there. So you have your different shots, though I'm not entirely sure how to pull them all off completely. All I really know is that the A button hits the ball. But we'll give it one more go, maybe finish the set as a matter of fact. Just to show it off. Okay, so yeah, you have 2 shots. You have your A shot, and you got your B shots. And the, sometimes when you shoot it, there's the special. I don't know which is which. I don't know if it's like a top shot or a lob, but it's a different kind of shot. Ah, and it's also easy to get faults. Alright. Man. This is a golf clap, but still. But yeah, that's Monkey Golf. Not golf, no, Monkey Tennis. And this is the last of the party games. So, let's head over to the conclusion. So, with that in mind, that's all 12 of the party games. Some of them cover fully, and some of them cover briefly. But for what it is, that's over 12 games. And some of them aren't very good, I'll be honest with that. There's at least, I want to say, half of the unlockable games from the original Super Monkey Ball 2 that aren't very good. But the main games are essentially the core of the formula. And having both versions from the original Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2 makes it all the more better. And overall, I'm glad that this deluxe package has it all. So overall, I would say that the party games were actually really good. For the most part. Like I said, there's half of the unlockable games from SMB2 that could be better. Definitely could be better, but I am glad that they were included in this deluxe package. So, that's going to do it for this episode of the party games and the party games as a whole. So, Stay tuned as we're going to be going into challenge mode, the last part of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. And from there, we'll be concluding the LP number 5. So, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and comment below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. But yeah, a lot of party games to offer. And overall, I would say that they are part of Monkey Ball as a whole. So, they have a good place in the series. And a good place in many people's hearts as some of the many games that Super Monkey Ball has to offer. So, remember them fondly.